Most people don't realize how much their job is affecting them until years have passed. The impact isn't always obvious at first, but it builds slowly. One day you look back and notice your finances haven't improved, your energy is gone, or your relationships feel strained. By then, the cost is much higher than you imagined. In this video, I'm going to share 5 clear signs that your job may no longer be right for you. If even one of these signs feels familiar, it might be time to think carefully about where you want to be 5 years from now. If our videos helped you, be sure to like and subscribe to support the channel and continue to get more videos like this. Sign number 1. Your finances. One of the clearest signs your job may not be serving you anymore is this: your finances aren't moving forward. On paper, it looks like you're progressing. You might get a small raise every year, usually around 3% on average in the US. The problem is, inflation in recent years has been closer to 4 to 5%, which means even though your paycheck is technically bigger, your buying power is actually shrinking. Think about that over 5 years. You're working the same hours, maybe even more, but the money you take home buys less than it did when you started. That's not growth. That's moving backward in real terms. And here's why this matters. Those same 5 years could have been spent building something that compounds. For example, putting aside just $500 a month into an S&P 500 index fund, which has returned about 10% annually on average over the long term, would leave you with over $34,000 after 5 years. That's the power of investing in assets versus relying on incremental raises. If your job doesn't create financial momentum, it's a sign. Because over time, staying in the same place financially comes at a real cost. Sign number 2. Your energy. Constant exhaustion and feeling drained before the week even begins is another sign. Maybe you felt it, waking up on Monday already waiting for Friday. By Tuesday afternoon, you're watching the clock. And even when the weekend comes, it feels like you're just trying to recover enough to start the cycle all over again. This isn't just in your head. Research published in the Journal of Organizational Behavior shows that low job satisfaction is strongly linked to higher stress and fatigue, which often spill over into life outside of work. In other words, the energy drain doesn't stop when you clock out. It follows you home, into your evenings, and into your relationships. Energy is one of your most valuable resources. If your work consistently leaves you without the capacity to enjoy your family, your health, or even your own interests, that's a sign worth paying attention to. Because 5 years of constant depletion doesn't just affect your career, it shapes the quality of your life. Number 3. Your health. Stress rarely announces itself loudly at first. It creeps in through restless nights, headaches that come out of nowhere, or that constant tension in your shoulders. Over time, it builds into something much harder to ignore: high blood pressure, anxiety, even burnout. A large study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed more than 6,000 participants across Europe. It found that people experiencing what researchers call job strain, high demands with little control, had nearly an 80% higher risk of developing depression compared to those in lower strain roles. And the effects don't stop at mental health. Chronic stress has also been linked to cardiovascular disease, weakened immune response, and faster aging of the body's cells. 5 years of carrying that weight is not just exhausting, it's damaging. Work will always come with challenges, but when your health is the price you're paying for it, that's not a cost you can afford long term. Sign number 4. Your relationships. Think about what happens when you walk through the door after a draining day. You're present physically, but mentally, you're somewhere else. You're shorter with your partner than you mean to be. You have less patience with your kids. Friends invite you out, but you're too tired to say yes. Over time, that becomes a pattern. The people closest to you start getting what's left of your energy instead of the best of it. Researchers have tracked this. A study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family found that higher job stress is directly linked to lower relationship satisfaction. Another study from Bowling Green State University showed that stress at work often spills over into family interactions, creating more conflict at home. 5 years of that isn't just a rough season. It can erode trust, connection, and closeness with the very people you're working hard to provide for. When your job consistently takes more than you have to give, it's not only you paying the cost, it's everyone who matters most to you. Sign number 5. Your opportunities. When you constantly imagine a different life but you never take real steps toward it, it's a sign to move on. Maybe you've pictured yourself starting a business, learning a new skill, or finally pursuing something that excites you. But day after day, the vision stays in your head while the routine keeps pulling you back in. The cost of that inaction isn't just disappointment in the moment, it's regret that compounds over years. Here's some perspective. If you invested just 1 hour a day into learning or building something new, that would add up to more than 1,800 hours over 5 years. That's the equivalent of nearly a full year of full-time work spent on creating a new future. Think about what that kind of consistent focus could do. You could develop mastery in an entirely new field, build a business that supports you, or create opportunities you've never had before. 5 years is more than enough time to reinvent your life, but only if you begin. Letting that time slip by without action is one of the clearest signs your current job may not be where you're meant to stay. If even one of these signs feels familiar, it's worth pausing and asking yourself, 5 years from now, do I want to be in the same place, or do I want to be building something better? The next 5 years are going to pass no matter what. The only question is how you'll use them. If this video gave you clarity, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're ready for practical ways to create change and take your first step, check out the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.